It's always a different day, but today it'll be like Everyday Hero Day.
Yeah.
So
surprise.
And actually, funny that you say surprise, because our everyday hero is actually from Surprise today.
Arizona,
we are so excited to celebrate Melanie, and we're not celebrating Melanie.
Right.
Melanie nominated Karalee, and we're celebrating her today. So Melanie actually has a podcast we go to the same church, and she's just very inspiring. We came across her, and she does a podcast from her closet, which I feel is just amazing.
Yeah.
Just kind of felt inspired to do it and just threw it together, and it's turned big.
Yeah.
So
she's been so inspiring to us. And so we're so excited that we get to meet her, talk to her, but then be able to hear about someone that has inspired her and really touched her life. For me, I found her podcast in 2019 when she started it, and she had been going through a divorce, and I also was going through a divorce. And so to me, it was so helpful even though I had never met her, but just to hear her story. And she was so open, and she's so open and honest about the things she's going through. And that has really touched me and helped me through my struggles. And so I've so appreciated her. And I said, we're so excited we get to meet her and share her to our world and get to hear about her everyday hero. So we're going to bring them on.
Here they are. Hopefully this will work.
Yay! Welcome! So this is Melanie. Melanie's on the right, and then her everyday hero, Karalee. Right? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome. Thank you guys so much for being on today. We already talked a little bit about Melanie and how amazing you are and how inspiring you are. So we're going to turn the time over to you to introduce Karalee and tell us why she's your everyday hero.
Okay. I can't get this straight. Okay. So right before I got divorced, I was trying to figure out a place to live and if I should stay in my old house or whatever. And I kept getting this feeling that I needed to build this house in this one neighborhood. And the only person I knew who lived here was Karalee. And so I started talking to her, is this a good place to live? And then miracles happened. I ended up in this neighborhood, and I had known Karalee before when she went to my church, but not really well. We were friends, but not great, best of friends. And then when I moved in here, it was right when I got divorced. And I had been a mom for 23 years. That's all I had kind of known. And so all of a sudden, every other week, I didn't have my kids. And I had this empty house, and it was super hard for me. And from the very beginning, Karalee would send me a text on Mondays and say, on the weeks I didn't have my kids, and she'd say, and how is she so organized? I don't even know how she's so organized to know what time she's going to have dinner. But she would write and say, Monday we're having dinner at 5, Tuesday we're having dinner at 6, Wednesday, and she'd give me the thing for the whole week, and she'd say, there's a place set for you every day. And I didn't take her up on it all the time because sometimes I felt kind of dumb, but there were a few times where I just was super sad, and I was like, why am I going to sit home and be sad when her and her kids are over there, ready and willing for me to come over? And so I would come over and we'd play games. I'd read stories with her kids and scare them to death and go to their soccer practices or whatever. And on holidays, Halloween, I'm used to taking my kids out. So the first year I didn't have my kids on Halloween, she called me, come pass out candy at my house. And it seemed like every holiday, she was just in tune to when I was lonely or I needed something. And I think the demographic of single mothers, especially in our church, or it's something that people kind of look over. I think when somebody dies, when you have a spouse die, everybody runs over and brings you casseroles and how can we help you? But when you get divorced, I think it's kind of a lonely place to be. And I don't know what inspired her to be so good to me, but she became the family that I needed when I didn't have my family around. And now my children are older and they don't go to church with me. And so I go to church by myself, and I live every other week in Georgia. So the weeks that I'm in Arizona, every morning, like I get a text, like, we have a spot saved. Are you going to be there today? And her kids will run out, wait for me, and grab me by the hand. They sit on my lap. I don't know if I'm like Aunt Melanie now, but I mean, Karalee wasn't even born. I think I graduated from high school the year she was born. You know, she's way younger than me, and she just adopted me, and she didn't need to. There was no reason for her to do this, and I just think she's amazing. She's my hero. Like, and she continued. I've been divorced for 2 years. I've been remarried now, and she still looks out for me when I'm, you know, here alone in town. My husband lives in Georgia. She's still saying there's a seat for you, whatever. It wasn't like something she did for a week, because we're all really good at being good for a week or even a month, but it's been 2 years and she's still looking out for me, and she's amazing. So that's Karalee.
Thank you for Karalee. What like keeps so one of the reasons we kind of started Everyday Heroes, we really want to celebrate like little things. I mean, you've done a lot of really big things, obviously, like you're consistently like showing up for Melanie, but like it's all about just like those small texts and little things like that. Like, does that just come natural to you to just like, I don't know.
Well, for Melanie, it's pretty easy to love her. Everybody that meets her, I mean, she's bubbly, she's fun. My kids love her naturally. Like anytime she sits with us, they're so happy. My daughter's climbing all over her. I actually feel bad most of the time because I don't think Melanie can get much out of church because my daughter's there making sure that she's getting all of Melanie's attention. So it's pretty easy to love Melanie, but in general, it's just, I guess I like to put myself in other people's shoes. It's hard for me to see people sad or suffering. I feel like I live a very blessed life, and I just want to bless other people when I can. And like I said, with Melanie, it's really easy. It's sending her a text. It is, for me, it's kind of awkward for me being on here because I don't feel like I do that much for her. I send her text, and then half the time she can't come or she's out of town, and I don't feel like I do that much for her, but she's easy to serve and love. And I don't know, I do try and do what my Savior would like me to do and serve and love others. And with Melanie, it's just extra easy.
That's amazing.
Even though it's easy, it still takes thought and love.
And it's so impactful. Like,
yeah,
I think that's the thing. I'm like, it seems easy, like, I'll just invite someone over to dinner. But I'm like, the effect that it has, like, blessed her life is huge. Like, it's huge. So.
And when I felt so inspired to move into this is like opposite. I felt so inspired to move into this house. I thought, ooh, like maybe my future husband is going to move in next door.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't realize why I felt like so inspired to move into this house. And I figured now it was because of her. Like I needed her. And she thinks it's little, but even today, I don't like sitting alone at church. And I know if I got there, I could find them and sit with them. But the fact that she still sends me a text, you know, I get it in Georgia, like, are you here this week? It's just, it's beyond thoughtful. And maybe it seems to the average human, like sending a text is easy. But to me, I forget all the time. I'm so flaky. And she's never been flaky. She's just always been awesome. And when she says her daughter bugs me, like crawling around at church, I don't have little ones to snuggle me anymore. And so I love to be snuggled by her little ones. So I don't think we realize how much good we can do by just sticking our kids on someone else. Like, here, during church.
Her too.
I think it's also such a great example of, because sometimes I feel like I'm bugging people. You're like, she already knows she can come. Like, and I'm like, but when you're in a place of loneliness and sadness, like it's that push that you need to be like, oh, I can't go hide because this person's like actually like reaching out to me instead of, and I'm like, that's inspiring to me to be like, if I'm thinking about somebody, just tell them. Like, you never know if that's exactly what they need. Even though you're like, they already know that, they already know, but I'm like, maybe they don't. And maybe that's just what they need to pull themselves out of some sadness or,
I feel like I get promptings like that. And sometimes I'm just like, that's silly and push it aside. But like, you've inspired me to not do that. Like, just stick with it and just do that random text that you don't know how they're going to respond, but it just takes, a few seconds. But
not to end it after a week. I think
it's true.
Someone's in crisis. We're really good for 3 months, and then we all fall to the wayside. And I mean, I'm remarried. She should probably
Right.
be like, oh, Melanie's fine now, but she
Yeah.
and now because I am alone when
Yeah.
I'm in town a lot, and she's still looking out for me all this time later.
So Karalee, what is something, what inspires you every day? Like, how are you inspired?
How am I inspired?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the happy and things that people do for others, the service that I see in my life, the service that is offered to my family. I don't live by my family. And so I know a lot of people take care and love them. My grandma is way far away, and this time it's kind of crazy, but I know that there's someone loving there and supporting her. And since I'm here with no family in Arizona, I get a lot of love and service. Like I've had a little adopted family, like Melanie, I know I can call on her if I need any help. And I always want to be that person that can be there to help and love and serve, I guess, just to make someone's life just a little bit easier, even if it's, you know, a text message. So.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, you're amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us. You
Yeah.
guys are so adorable.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is like made our day, made our week. So
Well,
thank you so much. Thank you for letting us celebrate you, Karalee. Melanie, thank you for inspiring us every day with your podcast. Like, you make a huge difference. So
Yeah, you
I hope
do.
you know that and keep it up, because it's touching so many people more than you even know. So
well, I appreciate that, but I think sometimes it's easier to sit in the closet and than it is to always be mindful of other people. And she doesn't want to be here. She doesn't want this attention, but I'm glad that I'm able to.
Yes, well,
I'm so
thank you
glad
so
that
much
you're
for
willing to do
coming.
it. Yes, seriously.
I know you don't want to be recognized for it, but you.
Yes, and
You
you
just
are
want
inspiring. So
Yes, you are.
Well,
She
thank
is.
you.
thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for
Talk
coming
to
on.
you guys later.
Okay, bye.